Hi, in this video we'll be talking about VLSM. VLSM amounts to subnetting subnets, which means that VLSM allows network engineers to divide an IP address space into a hierarchy of subnets of different sizes, making it possible to create subnets with very different host counts without wasting large numbers of addresses. While subnetting is the strategy used to partition a single physical network into more than one smaller logical subnetworks called subnets. Then, an IP address includes a network segment and a host segment. And subnets are designed by accepting bits from the IP address host and using these bits to assign a number of smaller subnetworks inside the original network.
And now we will use a simple way of subnetting. Nonetheless, in order to understand subnetting, we must need some basic knowledge like subnet mask, host ID, network ID, broadcast ID, and assignable range. Let's have some example. Let's say Tinago Corporation has 5 departments with their specified number hosts. For accounting department consists of 12 hosts. Marketing department consists of 44 hosts. Administration department consists of 2 hosts. And sales department consists of 24 hosts. With the network of 192.168.1.0, which is the IP address, and 24 bits of netmask.
But first, let's create a subnetting table as a reference in solving or distributing of IP addresses on the 4 departments, which is accounting, marketing, administration, and sales. The first 3 tables are subnet, host, and subnet mask. The first row subnet with 9 numbers. We start with 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and 256. The pattern is each number is double of its previous number. The second row is host, which tells the number of total host IDs for each new subnet. Start with 256, then 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. The pattern is that each number is half of its previous number, or the second row is the reverse order of the first row. The third row is the subnet mask, which we use shorthand format starting with 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32.
That is the subnetting table reference. 4 means 4 subnets. 64 means each subnet will have 64 total host IDs, including the network ID and broadcast IDs. 26 is the new subnet mask for these 4 subnets. Now, let's solve Tinago Corporation. Distribution of IP addresses. We will start to the department with highest required host up to the lowest host. Subnet name, we have 4 departments, namely marketing, sales, accounting, and administration. We will start to the department with highest needed number of hosts up to the lowest host, and that is the needed size row. For marketing department, needed size is 44 hosts, while sales department is 24 hosts. Then, accounting department is 12 hosts. And lastly, the administration need only 2 number of hosts.
And now we're going to look for the allocated size. Allocated size is the corresponding total number of hosts that each department needs. Address, or the IP address, is the starting network ID of each department. Mask, also called the subnet mask, is the shorthand format. Decimal mask is the quad-dotted decimal representation of the subnet mask, while assignable range is the number of hosts to be used excluding from the total number of hosts like the network ID and the broadcast ID. Broadcast ID is the highest number in each class that used to send in a broadcast within the group like an ARP when talking about networking.
Let's start with the highest number needed of hosts, which is marketing department. First, the marketing needed 44 number of hosts. Now, to count the subnet mask, 44 falls to 64, not 32, because we get it from the highest next total host, which is 64. If we're going to use 32, then the needed host of marketing department will not meet. Therefore, the allocated size is 62. Why 62 and not 64? Because the two hosts will be used for the network ID or address and for the broadcast ID. For the address, the first network ID is always the original network ID, which is 192.168.1.0. Then the address will be 192.168.1.0. To look at the photo, the 64 host corresponds to the 26 new subnet masks. Then the decimal mask or net mask for 26 subnet is 255.255.255.192.
To compute the assignable range, the next IP address we will just increment by 1 from the original network ID into 192.168.1.0. Therefore, the first range will be 192.168.1.1, while the last range is the decrement by 1 of the broadcast ID. Therefore, the last range is 192.168.1.62. To get the total of IP addresses 0 to 62 is only 63 IPs, but we need allocated size of 64 hosts. Why? Because the last highest host will be used to the broadcast ID. Last assignable range is 192.168.1.62. Therefore, the broadcast IDs is 192.168.1.63, and that's the marketing department distribution of hosts.
Second is the sales department. It needed a 24 number of hosts. Therefore, to look for its total hosts needed, it falls to 32 hosts. Then the allocated size is 30 because the two remaining hosts were used to the network ID and broadcast ID. The last ID for marketing department is 192.168.1.63. Therefore, the next network ID or address is 192.168.1.64. And 32 number of hosts falls to the 27 new subnet masks with a decimal mask of 255.255.255.224. To get the assignable, let's take a look first to the last ID of the marketing department, which is 192.168.1.63. And the needed subnet mask from the table subnetting of sales department is 32.
Here's the calculation. Marketing last ID is 63 plus the sales department needed number of hosts of 32 equals to 95 total number of hosts that sales department must have. Therefore, if you will look into it, the broadcast ID will be 192.168.1.95. Then the first assignable range is from 192.168.1.65, increment by 1 from address. And last assignable range is 192.168.1.94, decrement by 1 from broadcast. That ends the sales distribution of hosts.
Same procedure from the previous department. For the accounting department, it required 12 numbers of hosts. Therefore, the allocated size is 14 number of hosts from the original 16 hosts. The two remaining hosts will be the network IDs and the broadcast IDs. The last address ID for our sales is 192.168.1.95. Therefore, the address for accounting is 192.168.1.96. At the photo of 16 hosts, the new subnet mask is 28 with a decimal mask of 255.255.255.240. Again, to get the assignable range, let's take a look first to the last ID of the sales department, which is 192.168.1.95, and the needed subnet mask from the subnetting table of the accounting department is 16. Here's the calculation. Sales last ID is 95, plus the accounting department needed number of hosts of 16 equals to 111 total number of hosts that accounting department must have. Therefore, if the broadcast ID will be 192.168.1.111, then the first assignable range is from 192.168.1.97 increment by 1 from the address, and the last assignable range is 192.168.1.110 decrement by 1 from the broadcast. That's the end of the counting distribution of hosts.
For the last department of TICO Go Corporation, which is Administration Department, it needed 2 number of hosts. Therefore, the allocated size is 2 number of hosts. From the original 4 hosts, the remaining hosts will be network IDs and broadcast ID. The last addresses ID for accounting is 192.168.1.111. Therefore, the address for administration is 192.168.1.112. On the photo, the 4 hosts, the new subnet mask is 30 with the decimal mask of 255.255.255.252.
Again, to get the assignable, let's take a look first the last ID of the accounting department, which is 192.168.1.111. And the needed subnet mask from the table subnetting of administration department is 4. Here's the calculation. Accounting last ID is 111 plus the administration department needed number of hosts of 4. So equals to 115 total number of hosts that administration department must have. Therefore, if the broadcast ID will be 192.168.1.115, then the first assignable range is from 192.168.1.112, increment by 1 from the address. And the last assignable range is 192.168.1.113, decrement by 1 from broadcast. Now that ends the administration distribution of hosts.
And that's the completion of Go Corporation solving or distributing the IP addresses to the needed host for each department. To summarize, Step 1, know the regional network ID and needed host for each department. Step 2, use the subnetting table in order for you to get the allocated size based on the needed total number of hosts, excluding the network ID and the broadcast ID from the total new subnet mask. Step 3, have the original network ID as the first address for the first department. Step 4, use the subnet chart to get to the decimal mask. Alright, step 5 for the assignable range, get the first range increment by 1 from the address, decrement by 1 from the broadcast ID, and for the last range. Step 6, the last IDs or needed host will be the broadcast ID. Step 7, just continue from the step 1 until you finish distributing the addresses for each department. And hope you like our videos and learn about subnetting. Thank you!